Berachot 7:3. Ketzad mezamenin. How do you do zimun? Which means really, what's the text of it, or the wording of it? Bishlosha, if there's three people, omer nevarech. Now really it means nevarech she'achalnu mishelo, like we know. Let us bless, the person says, one of the three, because there's three. Now if there's bishlosha vehu, if there's three and the guy who's going to say the zimun, so four, so omer barechu, he would say, go bless. It's like a command. Instead of saying we will, because to have we, you need three. So as long as there's three to say it, he can be like on the outside saying, why don't you all three bless? So he says barechu. Now of course we don't do this today, but just you'll see this whole Mishnah, a lot of it we don't do. Now it says ba'asara, if there's 10, omer nevarech le'elokenu. Ba'asara vahu, if there's 10 plus him, omer barechu, again. Echad asara ve'echad asara rebo. This formula that we just said is basically said whether there's 10 or whether there's 10,000. But still the Mishnah is now going to show you what happens even from 100 and on. They're just saying that this rule of how you say nevarech and barechu is for all those numbers. But now, however, b'me'ah omer, if you have 100, you would say nevarech l'Hashem Elokeinu, you add Hashem's name. B'me'ah vehu omer barechu. If there's 101, then he would say barechu. Be'elef, if there's 1,000, omer nebarech l'Hashem Elokeinu Elokei Yisrael, the God of Israel. We add be'elef vehu, and if there's 1,000 plus 1, omer barechu. Bidebo, which means if there's 10,000, omer nebarech l'Hashem Elokeinu Elokei Yisrael Elokei HaTzebaot Yoshe Kirubim Al HaMazon She'achalnu. All this extra that we say, who sits on the cherubs and God of hosts on the food that we ate. Now bidebo vehu omer barechu. If there's one extra, you say barechu. Now what do you mean one extra? 10,000, or if there's one extra? So it means, according to this opinion, they had to know if there's 10,000 or 10,001 people in the hall, wherever they're having a wedding or something. It's a rather interesting halacha. Now it says, Ke'inyan shehu mevarech kach onin acharav. The same way you would say the blessing, you would also answer. Meaning the people would answer the same way with all the words. Baruch Hashem Elokeinu Elokei Yisrael Elokei Tzebaot Yoshe Kirubim Al Mazon She'achalnu. And of course all the others from the 100 and the 1,000, meaning they would answer the same way. Rabbi Yosef HaGalili Omer, Lefi Rov HaKahal Hen Mevarechin. According to the great number of the Kahal is how they would bless, which means as it gets greater, there's more praise to say. That's what this formula was about, even though we don't do this. Shene'emar b'makelot barechu Elokim Hashem memekor Yisrael, like it says in Tehillim, that it says in the makelot, which basically means like in the choirs, we sing to Hashem, and all of you are from the fountain of Israel. Now it says, Rabbi Akiva says, Ma matzinu, Amar Rabbi Akiva, Ma matzinu bebet hakneset echad merubin ve'echad mu'atin. Whether you have a lot or a little bit, but still a minyan, 10, Omer barechu et Hashem. We still say barechu et Hashem when you go up to the Torah. Rabbi Yishmael Omer barechu et Hashem hameborach. That really, that's the phrase that we say, and that is what we say today, is blessed you of Hashem, the blessed one. And that's how we follow, meaning as long as you have 10, it doesn't matter how much more than 10 you have, you still just say the nevarech Elokeinu, like we do our halacha. And you'll notice how just to say barechu is even what we do in the Torah. We don't say nevarech, we say barechu, why don't you all bless? So we do use that word of barechu when it's coming to reading the Torah. So it shouldn't sound funny, it's just we don't do that in Zimun, but it is something that we do in something else.